an African-American nurse stepped in. She says, I'm glad this has happened for you. This story doesn't normally happen for us.
70% of clinical trial participants are white, and that's not reflective of our actual population. The simplest way I can describe a clinical trial is an opportunity. It is the way we go about evolution of healthcare. It grows our list of options. If we aren't able to get the clinical trial demographic breakdown to look more like the global actual world breakdown, we will not have medications that meet the needs of everyone.
As a clinical research manager, I had the opportunity to share with my colleagues about my father not wanting to take an MRI because it was a trigger for him for the Tuskegee experiment. And it wasn't just my father, but my grandmother and even aunts and uncles that had shared that similar mistrust.
Trust is different, and it's very individual.
We're still working very hard to be trustworthy. Trust requires time. It requires effort to be engaged with someone.
In any conversations, we're talking about representation. The responsibility is not on those who were left out. You have to allow people the access and the opportunity to come back in to say, this is a problem, and this is how I feel like I can be a part of the solution. And that's how you build community. Community starts between people, between shared experiences. We can only do that through conversation.
I knew that I had to ensure that people that looked like me knew that clinical research would be available for them, that there were laws in place to help them, that this medication was tested in someone that looks like me.
Clinical trials are regulated by health authorities to help participant welfare before, during, and after a clinical trial.
It can be very difficult to go, okay, I'm going to make the informed decision to go into a particular clinical trial. Sometimes the perception may be, I would like to try a clinical trial, but it may be unobtainable. It's something that only happens elsewhere. It doesn't happen in my community.
Some people will tell you straight out, I'd be happy to do it, but nobody's ever asked me. There are some folks who are interested in research, but aren't interested in driving 3 or 4 hours for the opportunity.
Reach out to your medical practitioner and talk about clinical trials.
There's a federal website called clinicaltrials.gov that houses all of the clinical trials here in the United States, so one could go and look at that. There's organizations nationally and locally that are there to help patients.
It still keeps me up at night because there's still so much work that has to be done. We're creating new ways for patients to gain information, awareness, and the opportunity to make the best choice for their journey.